o'clock. So I am going to call to order this Town of Griswold Board of Selectmen regular meeting on Tuesday, February 10th, 2026, 6 p.m. Call to order, roll call. Tina Falk, first selectman, to my right. Wayne Malin, to my left. Matt Danieluk. We have 10 residents also attending. Item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Item number 3, approval of minutes. We have regular meeting minutes from January 27th, and we have special meeting minutes from February 5th. Any discussion on those?
I have none.
Nope, I had none. I'll make a motion to accept both minutes for January 27th and February 5th, 2026.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 4, correspondence. We have the Board of Education second quarter financial report, fiscal year 26. If you've had a chance to review that, if there's any discussion on it.
I guess I only have really a question is what discussion would we have about it? I think it's
Informational.
It's informational, right? So no real discussion necessary. That's kind of what I thought.
Have to ask.
Sure.
Okay, number 5.
Excuse me, Tina.
Yes.
So before we move on, so I got some correspondence.
Okay.
I wanted to say congratulations to Ryan Aubin. He was given a humanitarian award at the Lisbon Lions Club last week. So I wanted to congratulate him on that, because I think it's a big thing.
It's a very big thing.
Yeah.
The other thing I was sent from Miranda Mahoney about her coalition partners, we had a student in the Griswold Middle School that has been selected as the 2026 National Red Ribbon Week Theme Contest winner.
Mm-hmm.
She wrote an essay, "Don't Make a Difference, Be a Hero, Stay Drug Free," and was chosen from submissions across the country and will serve as the official National Red Ribbon Week theme for October 23rd to the 31st, 2026.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. I had a chance to attend that. Miranda and I are going to work together to, at one of our selectmen meetings, have recognition to that student, because it was, you're right, it was a big deal.
I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It was a great ceremony. Okay, anything else?
No.
All right, we'll move on to item number 5, old business. Discussion and possible action on reappointment of Tom Giard as member of the Economic Development Commission for a term of 1/25/26 to 1/24/2031.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Tom Giard as a member of the Economic Development Commission for a term of 1/25/2026 to 1/24/2031.
Before I inevitably second you on that, Wayne, because we've put this off for quite some time now. We did send, as we discussed at the last selectman meeting, the directives from the Board of Selectmen to EDC. They have not had an opportunity to review that as a group, so that'll be next Wednesday at their meeting. So my hope is that everybody will be on board and there won't be any issues with that at all, and that we can move forward and then pursue adding those alternate positions in addition to the appointments. We have gotten the Facebook page up and running, but certainly more work needs to be done moving forward to do a better job promoting, but that just wasn't something we were able to do in that span of time from the last time we talked about it to now.
Right.
So I will second your motion to reappoint Tom Giard as a member of the EDC.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on this reappointment for Tom Giard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? B, discussion and possible action on reappointment of Rich Canova as a member of the Economic Development Commission for a term of 1/25/2026 through 1/24/2031.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Rich Canova as a member of the Economic Development Commission for a term of 1/25/2026 to 1/24/2031.
I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on this reappointment of Rich Canova. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? 5C, discussion and possible action on request for town resident appointments to the Cable TV Advisory Council of Eastern Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
So far, we have one request, one letter of interest from Rich Canova. I did receive notification from the superintendent that there are no interested candidates from the Board of Education. So I think the next thing I'm going to have to do is contact the cable television board.
I did that.
And what did they say about if we have no?
So what they suggested was that it is a pure requirement that they have that thing exist, and they do much more outside of the scope of cable TV. It pertains to internet. It's how East Lyme got their funding for their entire video system, so they have their own TV station where they're able to broadcast all of their town meetings and things like that right through that. So that's something that is of interest. It was a very long email that I received back from the chair of this committee, but it was pretty detailed. He did say that some members do use, I forget what client they use, but they do come in digitally sometimes if they're not able to make it to those odd month, every other, whatever it is,
In
meetings.
Montville, yeah.
In Montville. So that is an option as well, virtual attendance. And basically what he said was that if we could just get one representative from the town, regardless of where it comes from, that would be helpful to them. He did not say that it was, if we don't have anyone who's willing to do it, then we don't have anyone who's willing to do it. So if the board has no one to put forward, that was basically the way he explained it in the email. He said if we could at least get one, that would be helpful. So if given the semi-information that we got, if Rich is still interested in filling that role.
Rich?
Oh, it's the second Wednesday of the odd month or something like that they have.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't.
The third Wednesday, which because of EDC, I mean, listen, we'll just have to make changes there somewhere, that's all.
Okay. So would you still be interested? If you could do it virtual even?
Yeah, I'm not a virtual person.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Yeah, WebEx is what they use, he said, sometimes to connect.
You do in person?
They do in-person meetings, but
Yeah.
he said some members occasionally connect via WebEx, is what he said. So it relates to community access channels, Breeze Line, as well as their linear cable TV service still. But they get briefed by the SEC in those meetings about new developments and things like that. They have members who are, it's a lot of people with like IT backgrounds and stuff like that.
What do they expect? Anybody that's there from any town, what do they expect to go back with? I mean, is it like go back to your town and broadcast this? I mean, let them know what's going on? I don't.
I think it's just overall policies, I think.
In terms of the actual membership requirements, he basically just copied and pasted me the link to the actual guidelines. He did a little further explain, this is probably the most relevant part for us, is I know the number of members designated for each town is more than one would expect. I think that when Pura made the membership rules, they were expecting politics would be involved. It's not. Just one member from Griswold would be helpful. I list all open positions in my letter because that is what is specified by the Pura regulations. So I think they are required to publish those openings and to try to get people to fill them. But I think in their eyes, any participation from the surrounding towns can be helpful. And I do think there is potentially some benefit to bring back.
But if there was 2, 3, whatever there was that went to that meeting every other month, and you talked about whatever you talked about, I mean, is it something that we bring back to you and say, hey, this is what the cable TV company's got going on this time? I mean, what's the relevance?
You could report back.
Well, you should.
I mean,
I mean, what's the relevance? I don't know.
I think that would be at your discretion to determine if it was
relevant
for the board to know or whatever it is. You know, like I would think if you are appointed to that position, we're gonna put it in your hands to say, hey, we talked about something that was, you know, really pertinent to us. Here's an opportunity for some grant money from whatever to do with this in our meeting room, right? Like, that was the part of it that was really the only, I read this whole thing and I was like, yeah, okay, I can see what they're doing here. But it was when he explained that they were able to fund the East Lyme public access TV system and the equipment. I was like, oh, perhaps that's something that we can pursue. So, I would say then if is your letter still active to to do that is my question.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, if that's the case, I would motion to appoint Rich Canova as our representative on the Cable TV Advisory Council.
And I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to appoint Rich Canova to the Cable TV Review Board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Thank you, Rich. All right. 5C. Note 5D, discussion and possible action on appointment of alternate member E. Jeffrey Hutchinson to a regular member position on the Inland Wetlands and Conservation Commission to fill the unexpired portion of a term from 12/24/22 to 12/13/2026. I'm going to ask to table this after a conversation with Cortland Kinney today, and he is having conversation with another member who may or may not resign. So I think that this item needs to be tabled.
Are we gonna table it and then do the same thing in 2 weeks? Should we remove it and wait until Wetlands comes to us with a definitive?
No, I think we'll have an answer in 2 weeks.
Okay, then I'll motion to table 5D to our next regular meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table 5D. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? 5E, discussion and possible action on reappointment of Eric Lindquist for a term of 1/1/2026 through 12/31/2029.
To the Inland Wetlands and Conservation Commission,
Yep,
right?
to the inland wetlands, yep.
I will, in the theme of catching up on these, motion to reappoint Eric Lindquist for that term.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to reappoint Eric Lindquist for the Inland Wetlands Commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? 5F, discussion and possible action on animal control services. Wayne, you want to take the lead on this? We've kind of gone through it together and,
Yeah, so where we are at is, we worked with NECOG and, he came back with some, cost analysis, basically looking for us to pick up approximately about 50% more of what we're paying now based on the cost that's, needed to cover the extra 5 or 6 towns that, he's taken over, to help us out, because, we were basically dropping dead at June 30th, and we wouldn't have any control officers or any animal control services. Since then, we did a walk around with some people from Department of Agriculture to look at our dog pound and
State
pretty
animal
good-
control.
State animal control. So they came up with some good ideas, actually. There's some people looking for facilities like that throughout the state for rescue animals and things like that, or for overflow or something. So she was supposed to forward you some contacts to contact, see if they'd be interested in our facility, and then they would take it over and lease it from us and that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
right now, that facility really isn't large enough for what we need. So in the meantime, we have to add this to our budget. We have to run this through the process for Board of Finance, something like that. But we really don't have any other options than to support paying NECOG the extra money until we come up with a long-standing plan, which would be to build a bigger facility up in Putnam or Norwich or wherever we decide to build it. If we do it regionally, then we can get some help with grants or funding from the other towns to help with that. But he needs a couple more officers to cover the towns. It requires a couple vehicles. It requires, all that.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
There's quite a big price tag on it. So this really was our best solution. I think our contracted price will now go up to $72,000 a year. So we've added that to the budget.
Currently paying about 47, somewhere in there.
48, something like that, yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, for context, for anybody that doesn't know the full background of this, our alternative option was that we were gonna have to formulate a plan either by ourselves or with surrounding towns and pay much, much more than that out of pocket to establish appropriate facilities, staffing, et cetera, to manage the problem. So ultimately, even though it is an increase in cost, a significant one, it is still by far and away the least expensive solution to
Oh,
the problem.
absolutely. They handed packets of the required regulations, and it would cost the town much more money to go independently. So this really was the best option. And the other towns, I have communicated with them. The other towns who were impacted by this contract change, they also too are going with the 50% increase in their contract cost. So we're on with that. All right, anything else?
No, it's just that, you know, the 2029 regulations are gonna, you know, have to be met. So
Yeah.
they're gonna have to build a facility that's gonna meet all those new codes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what, this is a bridge. This is a bridge to the next part of this,
Absolutely.
basically.
5G, discussion and possible action on position of assistant to the town planner. I did not put this on the agenda, so Wayne, I think, did you?
No, I know that we're working on the post, right? The post the job.
Yeah,
And I know the HR director was working through that,
she is,
along with a couple other grant writing positions along with that too. So
yes.
I haven't seen the latest and greatest, but
No, I know there was some discussion about combining the two positions. She has some concern about that, so there's some discussion going on.
Well, the Board of Finance also had some concerns about that. I think it's something we're not gonna be, we would have to change going forward, not post right now. If we post those two positions as they are currently written, we could post them. We have had at least one of them up. The secretary position has been up, and then the post expired, so I believe she was reworking.
Yeah,
that,
there were
but
no
there were no
eligible
applicants.
candidates, no.
Which, listen, I mean, if we want to talk about the problem, I understand. I think even if it's not combining those two roles, somehow shifting that secretary position in a different way, whatever it takes to make that, I don't think anybody wants to work for that dollar amount for those hours. I think is the real problem. And I think we have to turn it into something more.
We do, but don't forget, you have the union involved.
Sure, no, there's no doubt about that.
And
We need
therein lies a
cooperation
problem, so.
from all sides, right? I know that Mario would like to see that be a full-time position. I know we're still without resolution for our land use committees. I don't know if we want to explore, whether or not that secretary that works for the town planner shouldn't be the secretary that takes minutes for the land use committees. Should we have a further discussion about just using the AI software that we talked about to have whoever is comfortable with their iPhone record the meeting on the app, and then it does the minutes for them? And perhaps it can be reviewed. I know that's a larger topic that I want to get to at some point. It's not, pressing right this second, but.
Right.
But is that, is there a way we can partially solve this problem now? Because it seems like it's jamming up more than just, it's HR, it's us, it's the land use committees, it's the town planner's office over this part-time secretary position.
Exactly.
So I just, how can we find some kind of resolution while understanding that it's not the most appealing position as it's currently set up?
Yeah.
on top of that, I don't want to tie up the grant writer position either.
Right.
No, that has to be put out.
We're losing money right and left, not getting active.
That has to be put out, and it has to be put out soon. So I think we'll have a conversation with Robin, HR director. Okay, we'll move on to new business. A, discussion and possible action on 4 tax refunds for a total of $471.14 as presented by Leona Sharkey, tax collector.
I'll make a motion to accept 4 tax refunds for a total of $471.14 as presented by Leona Sharkey, tax collector.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, 6B, discussion and possible action on social media issues. I have nothing. Either of you have anything?
All positives right now. The town social media page is up and running. We are able to put out notices while we are making sure that no comments are allowed on our posts or the posts in the town pages. Much thanks to the admins from Grizzled Now and Grizzled Discuss, especially Rich for
That's a Facebook page, right?
answering
We got our own Facebook page.
We do.
Yeah.
We have our very own.
Thank you, Matt, for doing that.
Very functional Facebook page, not a problem. I think it's a great resource, so I hope that more people can follow it and stuff, but even if they're not following the page directly, we're obviously gonna cross-post everything, when we have it to those community pages, because that's where everybody kind of already lives anyway. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. 6C, discussion and possible action on the America 250th Committee. I gave each of you a copy of the committee's master event list of events scheduled throughout the year. They've got quite a lot going on. I think that they've put together a very interesting year of events. And we are going to be posting this. We'll have it posted, as a matter of fact, if you want to, Matt.
I will post, maybe not this exact version of it, if we can I think we'll work with them to maybe get something that's like month by month, like calendar wise, as opposed to a list form, but we definitely can get some social media up to promote this stuff. I'm sure that Ryan's gonna be doing a lot of this as well, probably on the rec page, I would think.
Yeah, I know that when this committee first started, they had a list that went on and on and on, and it really, it was not attainable, and it was also very expensive, so they worked to narrow it down, and I think they've got a great, they've got a great agenda coming up, and there are projects with the school, projects with the senior center, I think projects with the youth center. So there's a nice cross-section of community involvement, so.
So I do know that, so I went to the rec committee meeting last night, and he did say that the carnival fireworks is gonna happen on Memorial Day weekend, so.
Yes, he sent out a memo today, an email today, so that is gonna happen. So I'll have them talk with him on maybe combining it. We'll see.
I think they already contacted him about that, but follow up.
Yeah, well, to be determined. All right, any other discussion on this?
No, I think maybe I just need to do a little more review of everything that they're working on, so I can better help to promote some of this stuff.
I will say that other towns have a Facebook page that talks about everything that they're doing or what's coming up and things like that, so.
I know Plainfield, they've got a lot of publicity out there, but I will tell you, I am surprised at the number of towns surrounding us who are doing very little or nothing. So this is excellent for the town of Griswold, so. All right, we'll move on to 6D, discussion and possible action on membership of the Griswold Housing Authority. Wayne, I know that you had a question about one of the members, and I provided each of you with a copy of a letter from the executive director from the Housing Authority, Paul Bricky. And I would like to read it because I know that there are people who are asking about this also. It's regarding Commissioner Marty Osga. We have received your inquiry pertaining to the status of Mr. Marty Osga and his seat on the Griswold Housing Authority's Board of Commissioners. The Housing Authority has reviewed the Connecticut statutes and has spoken with the Department of Housing official and offer the following course of action. According to the Connecticut state statutes, and it lists the chapter and the section, commissioners on a housing authority board are appointed by the appointing authority and are residents of the municipality where they serve. The appointing authority in the town of Griswold is the Board of Selectmen. The statute does not specify whether the resident needs to be full-time or a part-time resident. Commissioner Osga is a part-time resident in the town of Griswold and a taxpayer in the town of Griswold. Therefore, the Housing Authority is recommending to the appointing authority, meaning the Board of Selectmen, that Mr. Osga has met the residency requirement and should be allowed to continue his term as a commissioner on the Housing Authority's board. In addition, Mr. Osga also possesses construction experience that will be essential as the Housing Authority pursues funding for an additional 26 units. Thank you, respectfully submitted, Paul Bricky. Any discussion?
Can you enlighten me, Wayne?
So I looked through the 841 statute. I also know Mr. Osgood's on the Board of Ed. He had to resign from the Board of Ed based on the same statute. Which brought the question, why is he still on the Housing Authority? And I understand what they're saying. I read the statute differently. I do have another person contacting the State Housing Authority, some people up there to get their take on it. So right now, we'll just let it sit until we hear back.
From that person?
And from that person, I believe you have to be a full-time. I understand, I have no problem with Mr. Osgood. I like Marty, I have no problem with that. I just want to make sure we're following the state statutes the way it's written.
Okay, I too have a call into the town's attorney. The Housing Authority Chair is here. Rich, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
No, I would welcome the town council's opinion on it.
Okay,
Because we obviously have two different answers to the same question, so
we do.
I would deflect to the town attorney and go from there.
Okay. I will not put my personal opinion in at the moment. I do have one, but let's wait and see what your opinion comes back
Okay.
as Wayne,
I
and
hope to
then,
have it within the next week or two. So.
okay, all right, and
Okay.
I'll push on my end
So
too.
then I will motion to table until our
I
next
will second
regular meeting.
motion to table.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, 6E, discussion and possible action on changing the membership of the Capital Improvement Committee to add a spot for a member from the Public Works Department.
You want me to talk about it?
Yes, you go
So I'm on
ahead.
the Capital Improvement Committee, and, I look around the table, I see pretty much everybody that has skin in the game. And the only department that has a lot of capital improvement requests and stuff like that is the Public Works Department. And they don't have a position on the committee, so it's been discussed that there should be a position on the Capital Improvement Committee. We do have P and Z member, which, there was some discussion why we needed them, but I don't think we need to remove them. We can still just add the Public Works person there. And I would make a motion that we add a Public Works representative on the Capital Improvement Committee, so they can speak to their needs.
Okay, and then in your packet, you do have a letter from the Public Works Director asking to be appointed to that Capital Committee position.
And I'll make a motion that we appoint Todd Babbitt to the Capital Committee as a representative of Public Works.
This is, to me, so clear and so logical, and I'm totally on board with that. But before we officially second, do we need to, is there like some kind of, do we need to do anything to add this position before we can actually appoint Todd?
I looked through the policy, the policy doesn't really call out the membership.
Okay, so if it's not
So
outlined, then.
it's just.
Perfect.
So, yeah, so it calls out right now, and it just talks about what the responsibilities are.
I guess my other question is, should there be two actions? Should one of them be to permanently add a position for someone from Public Works to Capital Improvement? And then also to then appoint Todd Babbitt as the current member? Because and it's a 1-year term, right?
Yeah.
So that way in the future, it's a 2-year term,
I
Capital?
think it's a 2-year term.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 2-year term.
So, yeah, I'll make a motion that we add a representative from Public Works to the Capital Improvement Committee.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second, and I will abstain.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And then I'll make another motion to appoint Todd Babbitt as the representative of Public Works to the Capital Committee.
I will second that motion.
I will abstain. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Perfect.
Item number 7, any other business that may properly come before the board? I've got a couple of items that I'd like to motion on. I'd like a motion to add on to the agenda the introduction of this inventory form for the town of Griswold.
I will motion to add on the inventory form to the agenda.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. And Wayne, you've been down into the
All in
basement.
favor?
No, all in favor. We have a motion and a second.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Just for Lisa.
okay, yes, Felisa. When I went down into the basement, when I first started in the town hall, I am overwhelmed with the amount of equipment, computers, shredders, you name it, it's down there. And it seems like for years, nothing's ever been done with it. There used to be a system where an inventory form for disposal of equipment was used, all right? So that every department would have this form, and we're going to reintroduce this form. It talks about the department, the description, the reason for disposal, serial numbers, there are signatures, and this helps us keep a record of what is being disposed of. We do have a gentleman in town, and I don't know, Rich Malik, he is the person to come in, and he will come in, look at the disposal requests, and he will have the final authority on saying, yes, Public Works will take this away. So we're gonna have a clean basement, because we're gonna start going through and getting rid of a lot.
There's a lot of stuff there.
There's a lot of
Some stuff's tagged.
Yeah, and
But,
it's been there for years.
And when I walked it down with Todd and Dan, it was, they didn't know where some of the stuff came from. It just
No.
got brought down by people.
Yeah, people just bring it down and leave it there, so,
So this is essentially, we're covering if we are gonna remove something and then somebody's like, hey, there's this thing that we moved downstairs 10 years ago, where did it go? And we have a record of where it went.
yeah,
Okay.
it's simply record keeping,
Yep.
and I think it's important.
Traceability, basically.
Yep, absolutely,
And we're gonna make this the standard for all departments across the town,
Correct.
correct?
Apparently,
yes,
it used to be years ago.
Yeah.
They got away from it.
yeah, I don't know how or why or when, but,
Then should we motion to make that the function of this? Should we motion that into existence, or should we?
I don't think we need to.
We don't need to, because it already existed?
I think it'll be presented at department head meetings and staff meetings,
Perfect.
all right?
That sounds great.
Okay. All right, and then I would like to, just for informational purposes, I would like to motion on information on two, one will be an informational seminar and the other will be a presentation. So I'd like to motion on these two events onto the agenda.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and talk about those two public announcements.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We will be putting this out on the website and both of these events on next Wednesday, the 18th at 6 PM here at the town hall. There's going to be a fresh presentation of the newly revamped road study. Okay? I know that, I think most of the phone calls that we receive in our office have to do with roads, conditions, why, when, how come. So it's open to the public. I would encourage residents to attend. Again, it's and it's going to be presented by Beta. They went through the entire town, every inch of all of our roads, and they've evaluated the condition, the need. So they'll be discussing that and presenting next Wednesday, the 18th at 6 o'clock. And then, do you want to talk about the FOI, because you're the organizer for that?
So on the 26th of February, a Thursday night at 7 o'clock at the Senior Center, the state's going to put on an FOI presentation for anybody that wants to show up and learn about the Freedom of Information Act. It's put on by the state specialist that knows all about it. So I sat through it up in Plainfield a couple months ago, talked to him about it, contacted him. So he was willing to come down, so that's what it's all about.
Yep, freedom
It's
of
free,
information.
doesn't cost us anything. So,
Right.
And that's open to all residents, correct?
residents, board members,
We're encouraging
Town-
board
town
members
boards, yep.
and department heads
Yep.
to definitely attend. Okay. Is there any other business that may properly come before the board?
I don't have any.
I have none.
Okay. We'll move on to number 8, public forum. Yes, sir.
I'm
Dave
shocked.
View, 59 Lee Avenue. I think it's great that you're doing Facebook, but I personally hate Facebook with a passion.
Oh, me too,
I
Dave.
hope the information will still be put on the town's normal website, and maybe even a link that somebody who's not a Facebook member, because you do have to be a member for Facebook, can go to and get information. And that's my big problem with Facebook, is you have to be a member.
Yeah, undeniably. Yeah, so essentially what the plan is, the next step now that we have the social media operating is to start to revamp the website. It's a massive undertaking. How much control we have, I don't yet know. I have to read through all the terms of our contract with the company that hosts our website. And it's gonna take some time. But Lisa does put the news items up on the news section of the website. And so the plan is to make sure that whatever is posted on the Facebook page is also posted in that news section on the website. So those two things are linear, and that way nobody's missing out regardless of what you're following. Which does remind me that I need to put that FOI post up on the website because it's now currently only on Facebook. So,
There you go.
Thank you.
yes, sir.
Any other public forum? Yes.
Hi, Lori Slaughter, 67 Ashland Street. The 18th will be a very busy day because in addition then to the road study presentation, there's also a presentation at the Municipal Center by the wastewater treatment plant about their restructuring of fees for sewer bills. So that's at 6 o'clock, same time, so.
Okay,
I'm sure that he will have a video presentation, which we can put up on our page, but,
okay,
any kind of questions and things like that.
okay. Unfortunately, there really was not another time that we could choose on that, and it's been a big concern. So, yeah, we'll see what we can
Right,
gather for a later presentation perhaps,
yeah.
or even put it out on Facebook.
Dave will never know.
Listen, as the farther we go with this, the closer and closer we're gonna get to me going, we really need a social media coordinator.
Yeah.
Oh, no, please, let's get through the town planner
You're in.
secretary first.
Yeah, right?
But additionally, I'd like to ask Matt then, if you are sharing to the community pages, would you share the borough page also?
I will. The only reason I didn't do that with that FOI today was because I didn't want to flood your page with stuff if you didn't want me to cross post, so I figured I'd talk to you about it.
Yeah, please do,
Okay. Yep.
Borough residents are town residents.
Yep.
So it's pertinent to,
Okay,
pertinent to everybody.
as long as
So
you're okay with that.
I'm
then-
fine with it, and I believe I have to, you're gonna have to teach me too, but I'll have to go in and just give you like a blanket permission to post whatever, and
Okay, yeah, we'll look at it.
yeah,
That
yeah.
shouldn't take us more than a minute,
yeah,
so.
yeah, that'll go.
It does, because I joined the borough page from the town of Griswold page, it does
Yeah.
give me the option when I am in the business suite making the post to
Right.
the borough page. I don't know whether or not you have to approve
I
it.
think I have to approve it
Okay.
because I have to approve everything, but I think I can give you a blanket approval.
Okay.
So, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
And just so that you know, Griswold and Legend are in overtime right now.
Oh my,
So I just want to let you know
it
that.
feels almost impossible.
I know.
Lori, do you want to talk about the parking ban?
Oh, yeah, there's for tonight? Yeah, there's a parking ban that's been called from 8 to 8. So after 8 o'clock, you can see our building all up in blue. And I will tell you that, every time a parking ban gets called, we get lots and lots of questions and lots of concerns. But the resident troopers have done a wonderful job
They have.
of enforcing what we need to enforce. And I think that's been very helpful in encouraging residents to get their cars off. We do have we have an issue with sidewalks where we're trying to come up with a solution about enforcement. Dave, I think that's, one of your bugs, right? Why
Yeah.
have it if you can't enforce it? And so it's hard when it's safety, but so we're trying to come up with some kind of solution for enforcement. Todd has been great. He gave me a nice big reading material to read through that other towns are doing, so,
Yeah, he did present that.
yes.
So,
So,
okay.
that's it, thank you.
Any other public forum? Yes.
Just Dana Bennett, Dina Lane, Griswold, if anybody cares. Just a couple pieces of information that might be financial information that you might want with the website. When I first came in here, the website was sort of set up by people and we had not gotten it up and running fully. Just kind of being interested in technology myself, I had wanted to maybe do a few different things. Lisa and I kind of worked on that. In order for us to make any changes, it was going to cost more money. So you might want to meet with them first before the budget's set, because you may need some more money if you're going to change it very much.
Yeah. And you,
That is what I anticipate being the case.
Yeah.
And we would probably have to explore all of our options so I'm not sure that this hosting that we currently have is gonna function for what we wanna build for the future of just to make sure that we can get the information exactly the way we want it.
Civic Plus it seems to be a website that a lot of towns use, you probably already know that. And it
Yes,
seems
they've
to
been
work
sending me
pretty
nonstop
well.
emails ever since I started looking around into other options.
All right.
Yep.
The other thing, and it has to do with the cable access, I had researched all of that hardware in here. In fact, I think I met with the chair down in East Lyme, the chair of that committee, and it was $89,000 to get everything, and there was a quote, we would have had to pay for that outright. It may have changed now, but the grant has to go through the school district. And I don't think the school uses cable access for their email or for their
I don't know.
video system. So,
I think there's a much simpler solution that we're probably gonna end up with that's gonna cost us almost nothing. That's what I'm looking at right now.
good.
But that was the one thing in terms of that cable TV advisory board that I was like, if that's available, maybe there are some other opportunities that could come from being involved.
Okay, any other public forum?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dana. Yes, gentleman in the back.
Martin McKinney. I realize that everyone wants to go AI with the minutes. I'm just concerned because there is some statutory requirements that people have to follow up and legal notices and stuff like that. So I think land use is a little bit, I'm not trying to make a big deal of something that's not a big deal, but I think there's some nuances that statutorily you have to perform too. And if you don't, then people can get stuff through and we didn't give them notice and stuff like that. So there is a little bit more involved than recording the stuff and then making sure the minutes are approved and stuff like that, because there's certain dates that have to be adhered to, there's certain 15-day notices that have to be legal notices, there's certain caveats, even when you open a public hearing, you can only stay open 60-something days, so somebody's got to track that, and somebody's got to notify the board following that, well, they have to apply for extension, they have to do this. Now, we're all very competent on our boards, but there's a lot of statutory requirements that certainly the minutes can be dictated, but somebody still has to oversee generally what's going on.
Yeah.
That in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Well, and to kind of expand that, because we just kind of brushed on it earlier, in a world where you are just, somebody's got the app that the town pays for that's on their iPhone, whether it's some board member or the secretary, and it gets uploaded to our account, and it does the minutes for us, what that essentially does is take hours of work away from the secretaries taking that dictation and then writing it in notes. You still have to have follow-up. My thought is just that makes that position of the secretary actually being in the town planner's office more appealing, because then they're not spending 3 hours of their day typing up the notes from the night before. They're spending maybe an hour reviewing, marking down the notices that need to be marked down, like you're talking about for the statutes and stuff like
Because we got a
that.
couple big public hearings coming up.
Yeah, no, undeniably, it is an assistant. It is not a substitute for,
No, not at all.
a human
Okay,
who has to
Not at
check up on
just
it.
throwing it out there.
No.
But if it allows that person to then actually go be the secretary to the town planner and perhaps take on a dual role doing something else as well, because they have exponentially more time during the day, that was my thought with that.
Yeah, for example, tonight, we're using AI. I think the last time Lisa was out,
Yep,
you went ahead and we did the minutes through AI, but we're still recording. And tomorrow, we'll have those
Yeah.
on hand, and I still will have to review. But what it means is that I don't have to sit there and type the meeting minutes. I just have to review and approve.
So
what
when you
came
guys
out.
gonna get your little faces on there that everybody's.
Oh, no. Oh, no,
no.
So, okay, yes.
Cheryl Canova, 52 Diamond Lane. For the inventory control, I can tell you down in the vault, there's stuff from the bank that's still down there. But are they gonna put like scanners and things on the backs of the computer and do the scan? Because working at the casino, that's what we did to monitor all the equipment that's in the building.
I don't-
Barcodes and stuff like that.
Barcodes, yep. And they had
A lot of the
scanner.
stuff doesn't have barcodes that are down there, so.
Yeah, asset tax.
Yeah, on here it says serial numbers and barcode.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, location pending disposal. It's a final disposition.
And you are right, there's some things down there that
I know,
scary.
I
So
know.
we're gonna work with Mr. Malik, and then we're just gonna basically get to a point where we're reset, get rid of a lot of stuff down there, and then we'll reset and just continue using this form.
Yeah,
Well, we're gonna have to.
True, because once you get it cleaned out and organized, then you can properly inventory everything and have it, and move forward with a more
It's usually
functional
the
system.
IT department goes to each department, and does the computers and does the website,
well, I think what we found is that somebody would say, oh, well, I don't need this printer anymore, it's a fine printer, but now I've got a color printer, so it just went downstairs.
Right, so you
Where
don't even know if it works.
Then, if I needed another printer, I could have just gone down, do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything that needed to be disposed of, and I just think it was not a really good way of keeping track of what we
No,
had,
exactly.
so. Okay, any other public forum?
Sorry, Dana Bennett again. The only thing I wanted to kind of reiterate or reinforce what Martin said, because one of the minutes that you did have when Lisa was gone was 21 pages.
Yep.
And it wasn't really accurate. It said, I think at one point that either Wayne or Matt made a motion, but also seconded the motion. So,
That was our
Yeah.
trial run.
It was a trial run, we'd never done it before, and that's not the type of document that the clerk wants to have coming in, a 21-page document.
Yeah.
So, in our situation, it's when Lisa is out. But yeah, I mean,
And
that was a good
that is a good
take,
point.
yeah.
And for Kelsey and Ann's sake, we're not gonna be submitting a 21-page verbatim minutes document to them today.
No.
But I do know the land use commissions prefer verbatim, so that really pertains directly to them. But in our situation, this is a free add-on with our existing Zoom system, and it does it for us without the town spending a penny. But for a very small amount of money, we can get a business version of a similar software, and we can basically train it. So like this one already knows that I'm talking and Wayne's talking and Tina's talking, and perhaps it had a hard time differentiating between Wayne and I in that case, and we didn't catch it on the review.
Could have been between you and me. We could have had
True,
a tough day.
you're right. But, so essentially what we can do is we can give it specifics of how we want it structured, And as we use it, it will, and we make adjustments to it, it will do it to the point where after a few meetings, we should, let's say Lisa should only have to go through and go, oh no, actually Wayne said this, not Matt, and adjust it, or whatever it is, and it should take a very small amount of time.
Any other public forum? Going once, going twice. Then we will move on to item number 9, adjournment.
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn and a second at 6:50, all in